Welcome to U.S. Immigration Live, taking your questions every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, about U.S. immigration law, live here by immigration lawyer John Khosravi, founder and president, CEO of JQK Law Firm, and the founder of the Immigration Lawyer Toolbox, a training and media program for immigration lawyers to become better immigration lawyers. But here we're coming to answer your complex questions and to give general education and guidance on the U.S. immigration process, which is at this point, like unnecessarily complicated. Every time I deal with every case, it's always different. So I know the frustrations we have when we come here live to answer questions on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and now Twitter and Instagram and all these different things. I forget all their names, but I forgot to turn on the TikTok one. There's a lot of questions come from there. But what I want you to do is just ask your questions live here, and we'll answer them. And if we don't get a chance, we'll get next week, come back on for sure. If you want to schedule a private consultation, email me at info@jqqlaw.com. We'll get you the attorney you need to talk with about your immigration case. Fees do apply for consultations, but that'll get you know what's properly happened in your case. We give good advice in a sense that you're going to know what you need to do if you can't do anything, all that kind of stuff. And most of the time, there's something you can do in cases where people contact us. There's always a lot of immigration things to do. Daryl joining in. Thank you so much for joining. Good to hear from you. God bless you. The new year is starting. There's good and there's bad. There's a fee increase happening in the U.S. immigration process. They're going to tremendously increase fees with USCIS, particularly for marriage cases. So right now, if you're doing a marriage adjustment case, that's you got to, for example, or just I-130 Justin, we'll say marriage, for example, and you get married, the government filing fee comes out to $1,760. But they're going to increase that. And also the forms that used to be free, these are Form I-765, I-131, work permit, and child permission. They're going to start charging fees. These probably going to happen in like 60 days or 90 days or so. And it's like going to be like $1,300 some bucks more. So that's a pretty big amount. So cases that are appropriate, we are saying, hey, listen, look into it. People are putting off during their cases. I would say look into it now to pay this. So you don't have to deal with that. We got a question: interviews for adjustment of status, marriage-based green card. They come back. They say they're going to come back. There's rumors that they're going to come back, but so far we're getting these cases approved without interview. So I haven't had the situation. Interview waivers are happening, but like, hey, we'll see. What topic are we working on or talking about, Artemis? We're talking about U.S. immigration. If you have general questions, stuff, let me know. S. Joyce says, hello from Guyana. Good to see you. I have friends whose family from Guyana. Great place. Very nice people. So good to hear from you. Thanks for joining us, S. Joy. And we got more questions. Donna says, adjustment of status and next step. I'm not sure what the rest of the question is. Mohammed says, can we green card if I'm born in the Middle East holding Indian passport? I'm not sure what your question is. Can you get a green card? Potentially. There's a lot more stuff we need to know than just the fact that you're an Indian passport holder born in the Middle East. So we got to really look into that. We have a question. LL asked, did the fiance visa price go up from $535 to a higher amount? They're going to be, not yet. Also, is the K1 fiance visa I-129 form processing faster than normal at 6 months with no backlogs? No. K1 I-129s are ranging anywhere from 3-4 months to 18 to 20 months, more on the longer end, unfortunately. So K1's not doing well. Download our guide, the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. Learn more about it at the website, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. But the timelines aren't looking good. Hopefully, they will get better. Oz asks, is there a problem if I apply for citizenship? I'm currently unemployed. There's no employment or income requirement for filing for citizenship, so that's not a problem for citizenship purposes. Out there says, hi, can a victim of indecent exposure be considered for a green card? There's a thing called the U visa if you're like a victim of certain crimes. I'm not sure if indecent exposure is part of it. It may be. I don't typically handle the U visas in my firm, so it's something you have to research and you have to schedule consultation, all that kind of stuff. But it may be. You got to look into the U visa to see if something's appropriate there. It may be. So be aware of these. The immigration always has different offices. There's a question about sponsorship of locomotive. Artemis, these questions don't really match U.S. immigration law, so I can't answer those kind of questions. That seems like employment law. You need to talk with an employment lawyer to handle that. So yeah, the fee increase is happening. That's something to be mindful of. There's some other things. For example, if you're a person who has like great accomplishments, you may be like a PhD, have your doctorate in like a STEM major and stuff. The Biden administration has been pretty good at approving these, even if you don't have citations. So if you are in this category, you want to look into filing a green card, at least I-140, have your case reviewed. because presidents might change next year, and take advantage of the EB2 NIW category. Schedule a consultation office, or at least send a resume so we could look at your background. It's a really good time to go after this one because we've been getting approvals and might just work for you, but we'll see. Artemis says, currently in processing for mother, married, daughter petition. Does it really take 12 years processing? Probably. Married, probably longer than 12 years. But check out the visa bulletin. Amy says, hi, counselor, in Frankfurt, Germany. How long should I wait for consular interview for EB3? I don't know. I don't know your case details, so I can't say. Plus, just up to the embassy how long it takes for them to actually schedule it. Nafi says, how long does it take to have a green card if you marry a U.S. citizen? It depends on, if you're in the United States, outside, if you have waivers needed, if you have what your background is. So it could be, it just varies. When is the fee increase happening? We don't have an exact date, but they want to do it fast. So I would, on a conservative side, say 60 days, more likely 90 to 100, but there could be lawsuits in the meantime that slows things down. That's what happened last time around. Saba asks, Mr. Kastrabi, I'm your last client's wife, Armin. I don't want you to give confidential information here. It's a public forum, but I'm a green card holder. This February is a year is a year that I received an email from USCIS that we got your documents, but the case is not approved. You should privately email me about this stuff. It's not a good place to say in public and stuff like that. Sabo, thank you for your question. We'll connect with me there if you're a former client and stuff like that. We have a question. Haidar says, hi, went for my marriage green card interview on the 30th of November. I have not got an email yet. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not sure what the issues are. Shanny says, can a green card holder sponsor adjustment of status for spouse still in status? There's a delay. There's a thing called the visa bulletin, and there's delays. So you can start the process, and with some delay, you could take the next level. But it depends on your case. It's not impossible. We do these cases, but when you're a green card holder, you got to submit the I-130 first, and your spouse has to maintain status till the time they can file for adjustment of status, which may be 1 to 3 months later right now. So it's a little bit tricky and quite a longer explanation, but that's to do. Artemis asks, what's your consult fee? Depends on which attorney you're talking with, but our firm, anywhere from $200 to $325. Please email the office and briefly explain your situation, and you can talk with the appropriate attorney for you. Sheo says, I got my social over the weekend, but no EAD. Why? I don't know. They forgot to send that. There's postal delays. It could be a lot of different reasons. There's my Asylum decisions pending and now shows fees were waived for I-765. What does it mean? If you have a work permit pending, it means exactly what it says. The fees were waived. I don't know what to tell you. You're just pending and you got your work permit based on asylum. Hello, can a charge that's dismissed or sealed affect renewals? Yeah, dismissals and sealing and expunging criminal history does not work in the U.S. immigration context. It just doesn't exist. So you really don't want to do that until your citizenship is done, because they're always going to want you to get documents from the court. And if it's sealed or expunged or destroyed, there's no record. So you prefer not to have that. So again, immigration does not recognize expungements or anything you can do to cover or seal that's valid in other contexts. For example, employment law, where you don't even mention it, does not apply to U.S. immigration. Very, very important factor. Fulan says, hi, can I withdraw my asylum after getting a green card through marriage? Yes, that's what we do with our clients all the time. We don't want you to get an asylum interview after you got your green card, and it could cause confusion, all that kind of stuff. Artemis follows up. If I have a job offer in writing, can I change my status as the border as a Canadian, or is it a valid question for life? It's not valid. I need to know more information. I think you're thinking about the TN, so it depends on your education and what the work is, who the employer is. So these are stuff I can't tell you to go do something when I don't know the whole thing, Artemis. So a private consultation is needed on this. LE asks, I-485 is in processing for 350 days. I sent RFE 4 months ago. No response. What do you think? You probably just need to wait. Hi, Mercy says, can a DACA recipient get a green card married to a U.S. citizen? It's possible if you enter lawfully when you first entered, or after the fact you had an advanced parole based on your DACA and you return lawfully. We do these U.S. citizen status, U.S. citizen marriage adjustment of status all the time, but we need to know more about your background too to be able to fully say it. Bedazzled asks, I received my EAD but not a social security number. I'm visiting another state for a couple months. Can I apply for my SSN in that state? No, just go show up at a social security office with the work permit, and that should work. But as you saw, we had another person who had the social, no work permit. You got the work permit, no social. It's better to get the work permit first. That's more important. You go to Social Security office and request it. Artemis says, what grounds of asylum can you apply? Thank you. We don't handle asylum cases, Artemis, so I can't help you with that. D Black Masala says, been married since 2019, received 10-year green card 2022. Recently, been going through a hard time with my wife. A lot of records, but it's to the point where she moved out, affect my green card. I mean, if you got your green card 2022 and you've been married till 2024-ish and living together, probably won't affect your green card, but I would have to talk with you and prep you for citizenship. But most likely, is if you just do it right, it'll be fine. Ellie, we got a lot of repeat questions. What's the difference between a K1 and CR1? The big difference is the K1 is a fiance visa that gets you, over time, a visa to enter the United States to get married. A CR1 is if someone's already married and they're going through the interview, or potentially they're already married in the United States and filing for adjustment. So it could be those. CR1 will be a 2-year green card that requires renewal. Now, if he says, if you marry a U.S. citizen to adjust status, how long to get a green card? 3 months to 3 years or longer. Ellie says, I-45, we already answered that one. Let's go back to YouTube to see if any questions there. Yeah, we got a bunch. Samson says, with respect to AOS adjustment of status, how long does it take to get a receipt from USCIS? Typically 1 to 3 weeks. And I've sent mine almost a month ago. There's no response communication. You have to be worried. Well, they should have cashed a check or credit card, so you would have known from that payment. If you haven't received, you got to start being worried, but we got to see what you submitted. Alex asks, hi, hope you're doing well. Thank you. You too. If I get my U.S. citizenship for asylum, can I travel to my home country of origin, the country I was escaping? Well, you don't get citizenship for asylum. You get asylum, then you apply for green card citizenship. I can't recommend someone go to their home country that they escaped from once you got citizenship, but in practice, everyone does it. But they can make an example of you as the first person. But I've never seen it be a problem, but I can't say that because the law says not to do that. But in practice, I've never seen it be enforced. But those are what it is. Take it as you will. I don't make any recommendations. Julia says, I filed I-130 petition for both parents, and USCIS shows a different time frame for each parent. If both of them are approved, can I have USCIS schedule interview in the U.S. simultaneously? You could try contacting them. It's a mess. Don't look at the time frames they say on the website. Those are unreliable. Elal says, are there severe delays and backlogs for processing I-129 K1 visas? Yeah. You don't have control of the service center, so it is what it is. But they're relatively severe delays. It depends. It's luck. Sometimes they're faster. Sometimes they're severe delayed. Mine says, does age difference lead to rejection on 30? It's one factor they take into consideration, but I've had a lot of people with massive age differences get married, get a green card. Depends on the case and the whole picture of stuff. So if you are Chinese and your spouse is from Nigeria and neither of you speak English well, no Nigerians speak English well, and probably Chinese people, a lot of education speak it. But let's just say in this world, and you're one's Jewish and one's Muslim, and then you have massive age difference, and you don't live with each other. So you got to see all the factors together to judge it. Translated knowledge says minimum annual income for K1 visa before or after taxes. The K1 visa requirements for finances are 100% the federal poverty level. Sorry about that. My baby just ran in the room. But it's higher for the I-864, 125%. Those are the rules. You can check out the form I-864P for what the numbers are. If you're doing the K1, look at the chart on the left for military because that's 100% of the federal poverty guideline. If you're doing affiliate support after they enter, it's 125%. Hopefully that didn't get lost. I said it really fast. Angelova says, do you do VAWA? How much cost? We don't talk about costs here. My senior associate does VAWA cases. Please email us and briefly describe your case, Andrew, and my associate will follow up with you. I don't do the U visas myself. I'm not a specialist in that. Pooja says, can I file for my sibling in a different country and I'm a U.S. citizen? Yes. How long does it take to process I-131 after asylum granted? I don't know. Is not on my backlog. Can I change my embassy? You could try. It depends on the reasons and where they're living and all that kind of stuff. It's most not going to happen, but you give it a shot. Quarantine says for K3 visa, how much they want you to have saved or just based on salary. K3 visa is based on the K1 I-134. It has to be 100% the federal poverty guideline. It could be salary or savings, but there's a calculation for how that works depending on how much money you make, how much savings you have. Andrew, please, I don't handle the U visa in my office, so I don't keep track. Please schedule consultation for that. All right. Samir says, this is show my asylum status. Even work permit has 2 years. I don't know what to tell you. Daniel asks, I-130 and I-485 approved for my wife. My kids, I-130 is approved as well, but they are overseas. I received an appointment letter for kids at US. Yes. Why is that? You might have made a major mistake in that. I'm sorry to hear that, Daniel. You probably listed that your children are going to adjust status in the United States, so they kept it here with USCIS. You got to do work and either refile or do I-824 or beg USCIS and a congressperson to transfer the case to the embassy so your kids can finish off things as how they are. So that's probably what happened. Sabrina asks, hello, contact congressperson is helpful. Okay, well, thank you. Umay says, can a can I get a B1 visa while my I-130 is pending? You could try. I've seen it be approved, but it's at the discretion of the consular officer. Isara says 5 years green card separated. Now need to file taxes together for citizenship. No, I mean, if you don't need to file taxes, you don't need to file it. Just file taxes, but if you're not together again, I mean, don't do it. Do whatever the accountant tells you to do. I can't answer timeline questions. Sorry about that. John says my case has been CRP since January. My case got current. When will I get my green card? I don't know. Whenever they get around to it. Sim says, sorry about these timeline questions, but there's just so much more information I need to know to give you a bad answer. So if you guys give me I need a lot more information to figure out what's going on in your case. And once I know that, whatever answer I get will be 30% right. So when you ask about timelines, only God, the Most High, knows like what these timelines are. Even USCIS doesn't. So I beg you, please stop asking questions about timelines. I don't have an answer, and I don't want to be rude and just brush you off. It's just the reality of it. Elal says, I-129F forms, are there any expediting whole K1 process? I don't know. You could try to expedite it, but we'll see what happens. Danielle says, USCIS website says the case has been transferred to NBC. It's confusing. Yeah, you got to contact the FVZ and NBC and see if they have the file or not. So check out your receipt notice, but you contact the NBC to confirm it. Umar said, does God exist? The definitions of God are different, but to each his own. Let's see, Sim. What other documents can I use if I cannot get my husband on the lease to prove we live together? Sim, download my guide, The Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It has a list of potential stuff you can use there. Most Hay says, can I seek asylum on a transit area? In general, anyone who's in the United States can seek asylum, I think. I don't do asylum, so don't quote me 100%. But essentially, if you're in the United States, you can file for asylum. You have to do a just declaration to get started. Let's see. I got a lot of repeat questions. For K3 visa, how much would they want you to have saved or just based on salary and make 90,000? If you make 90,000, don't worry about it. You're okay. My parents' processing times have changed twice. Should I reach out to USCIS? If you like, you reach out. But this is what I'm talking about. The processing times USCIS gives us are so unreliable that it's not worth looking at. What time for adjustment case that says actively being reviewed? You got to wait. You're welcome, Danielle. Most Hated says, how can I contact you? Most Hated OPP. Our office does not do asylum cases, so I can't help you with that. If you like, send an email and tell us what city or location you're in, and I connect you with my colleagues who does, but we don't do asylum cases. Translate Knowledge says, but is the income shown in HSS party guidelines, are they before taxes or after K1 visa? If you have a W-2, just have your total income before taxes. But they could be annoying. The embassy has discretion to say it's not enough. So I would need to see the whole situation, your savings, your income, and stuff to see what's appropriate. That requires a consultation. Sue says, can you change consular processing to adjustment of status when you're waiting for interview abroad while visiting the U.S. and staying here? Technically, yes. We do it all the time, but we got to see the whole situation, Sue, with your case to make sure they don't accuse you of immigrant intent or trying to like skirt the law or something like that. So there's a review that's needed, but it is possible. Zolfagar asks, after I get my fingerprint for my citizenship, how long do I have my interview? There's no connection or time that connects those two. Ellie says, hello there. My lawyer applied for USCIS. I got approved in less than 2 weeks. They happened fast. Congratulations. I'm not sure which form you did, but that's the immigration department. It's just all over the place. Do you guys do waivers for 212C? 212C is a misrep waiver. It depends on what the thing is and how, if you have proper conditions. 212C, I think, is a misrep. It's a criminal waiver. So 212C. So we have to see what's going on with the case. But we typically don't do those, but it depends on the facts. So email us. John says, my case has been CRP. I already answered that question. Okay, we got a lot of repeat questions. Unfortunately, I got to skip through a lot of people and to find some new ones. Where can I file for a fiancé visa? So, Gabby, download my guide, Gabby, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Because if you're asking where can I file for a fiancé visa, it means you haven't really gotten into the process at all anyway. So, but you come to the right place, Gabby. No worries. Download our guide, Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It'll give you a breakdown. And then watch our YouTube channel. I have dozens of breakdowns breaking down each single thing. It's a particular new video we did on the JQK Law Immigration Talk YouTube page, where we break down 10 points of pros and cons between the K1 fiancé visa and marriage. There might be other stuff you got to be mindful of, but 10 big ones when you're choosing which one you want to do. Okay, let's go back to Instagram. I think we got some questions. I have a question with bulletin. What is a bulletin? Doesn't mean it says online. Artemis, you got to study the visa bulletin. There's a bunch of videos on what the visa bulletin is, how that works. Then that'll help you out. Ajmodi asks, if I have a F4 case and won't be picked up for 6 more years, can I apply for tourist visa? You can apply, but it's up to them. Ajmodi says, thank you. You're welcome. Gina says, hello, question. I came as immigrant to U.S. from Lebanon, me and my 2 daughters, but my husband's case is still under administrative processing. What can we do? How much time will it take? You try suing them and to force it. From Lebanon, it's who knows how they can handle that. But lawsuits are usually the way to go. Alikma says, I got to prove I-485. How long to get the card? Usually a week later, but USCIS is not consistent. And let's go see if there's YouTube questions. And there are. Most hated. What's your email so I need to contact you? It's info@jqklaw.com. It's in the video on the bottom where you're watching. Elon says, does online marriage by Utah considered legal by USCIS? Yes, if you visit and see your spouse at the marriage or afterwards. That's when it becomes validated. Where says, my girlfriend came through SIV after marriage. Can she add me in her SIV? I have asylum already. If you have asylum approved already, you don't need to do that. But I don't handle the SIV case with our firm. We're not a big SIV case, so you have to schedule a consultation. If she's already got it, adding someone at marriage after the fact is hard, but I never submit an SIV case myself. So one of my associates who does have talked with you about that. So we need to schedule a consultation. All right, let's skip a lot of questions and get some new ones. War says not approved, only applied. Okay. Yeah, schedule a consultation to see where they are in the SIV case. And it's just, I don't handle those cases, so I don't want to talk about something I don't do every day. Ronnie says, with 2 kids, can I get a green card easily, married to U.S. citizen? It's not about easy or not. It's just you satisfy the criteria and you have the documents, and that's that. So 2 kids is good, shows your relationship isn't fake, but that's just one of the things they look at. Download our guide at ultimatemarriagegreencardguide.com. I'm sorry, it's a guide. The website is marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Veronique, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Download the guide and then contact us. Saab says, can I-130 be revoked after denial? How long does it take to be approved when revoked? That doesn't make sense because can it be revoked after denial? It's already denied. And how long does it take to be approved after it's revoked? I don't follow the question. I'm sorry. Irfan says, can you file for I-750 while pending I-751? Yes, if you've got an appropriate case. Pooja says, can I file for sibling in a different country? I'm a U.S. citizen. Yes. Akash says, how long can you stay outside the U.S. and come back with B1, B2 from your home country? That's up to the person at the airport, how strict they want to be. Bia says, I just got my citizenship petition, my mom right away. I'm excited for it. God bless. It's wonderful news. Good to know. Stefan says, I got an RFE on my EB2 NIW. Does that mean application may not be approved? Yeah, it means they need more information. They'll deny it if you don't give them more information that they're requesting. Ali says, is it true that people who are married to military have a smoother visa process? Not from my experience. It's been the opposite of my experience. Robbie says, my I-485 through employment RFE has been 120 days since I responded. I just got to wait. There's no good response times on this kind of stuff. That I don't have much more I can say about that. Unfortunately, these timelines are inconsistent. Skurrick says, do you have an estimate how long it takes a green card California for marriage application? Depends on the case. I don't know if you're married to a U.S. citizen or not. I don't know what your background is. I don't know which local field office you're doing. I'm not sure if you need a waiver. I haven't seen your affidavit of support paperwork. See if that's strong. If you enter with admission or parole or you haven't, it could be 3 months, it could be 12 months, it could be more. D Black Masala says, thank you very much. I reached out to your office. I was assigned to someone in your office. How can I work with you directly? Been following for a long time. I don't handle cases directly myself, D Black Masala. The business has gotten too big, but I work individually in group meetings and group daily, individual and group with my team, and we go over cases constantly. So we're aware of your case, and we do consistent internal education. And but frankly, my associate was just focused on your case. That's the best person to talk with you because they're not doing, like this live session. They're just focused on your case. But I'm coming here and talking live and doing the video and stuff like that. But you need to have an associate at our firm is trained and has the same culture and just beliefs and care for our clients that we develop and they have when we choose them. And they have the best service to help you. Because again, when I'm here doing videos and talking to people, they're just working on your case. So it's more attention. That's the way I like to do it. So they can help you out with that. We got a question. How can I immigrate to the U.S.? Schedule consultation. We talk about it, see if an option is possible. Stan says, my wife lives abroad and we married abroad in Malta. Can she get a status to live here while we work the immigration process? We have not started any paperwork yet. Unfortunately, no. There's no thing to do there other than starting the process. So you get potentially apply for a tourist visa to visit while the case is pending and come and go. But there's no status you can get in the meantime, unfortunately. There's a thing called a K3 visa that's worthless, but you could try and give them that shot to speed up the process, but we haven't seen this, so it'd be sped up. Miss Suarez says, I'm a DACA recipient. I have 2 children, U.S. citizens. Is there a way to legalize my status? Probably if you're a married U.S. citizen. I'm not sure what your marital information is, but Miss Suarez, email the office, schedule a consultation. Email is info@jqqlaw.com. Team 4 says, cousin got married last year. His wife's not sponsoring him, saying she will do after 2 years. I don't know what to tell you. Janelle says, where's your office? We're located. We have in Los Angeles, Orange County, and Virginia, but our location doesn't matter. Almost all our cases are done by mail and email and stuff like that. So our location doesn't matter. Tasha says, date before applying for citizenship counted from date on green card. I'm not sure what the question means. Elias says, I submitted my application, marriage-based green card 9 months ago, still no EAD. Is that normal? Normal is a loose term. So it could, yeah, we have cases go that long, sometimes faster, sometimes more. So unfortunately, inconsistency is normal. So that's kind of like counterintuitive because you're like, something's normal, it's normal, but it's not. There's no normal in immigration. Maria says, what happens after I-618 is proved? You got to finish up consular processing, schedule consular job. Let's talk about it, info@jklaw.com, but you got to schedule consular processing. Annette says, can an overstay person apply for work permit? Depends on if they have a TPS or some other reason, married to a U.S. citizen. I don't know. Depends on the case. Arik says, I paid for this tape $12.25 and $4.95. They rejected it. You don't have to pay for a C9 I-765. You pay too much money. The I-485 is just $1,225. That's it. Until, a couple months from now when they change it, they do start charging money. Molly says, can we travel out of the U.S. on advanced parole a couple of times? If you have the proper documentation, you should, but it's up to you if you want to take the risk. Melissa said, I applied for my son's for N600K form. My check was cashed April 22. My file says nada. That's a long time waiting. I'm not sure what happened. My N600K cases usually take less than 6 months. So I'm not sure which office you did with and why that's it. You could try contacting them. Omar says, how much is your net worth? I'm not really sure. It moves around every day. Miss Suarez already answered her. Stephanie says, I got an RFE out. I answered that. Ackman says, I got to prove I-485. How long is the green card? About next week. And how much? We have 3 more minutes. Let's get some good questions in there. If you're a non-citizen and married to military, will the visa process go faster? Probably not. Unfortunately, we do a lot of military cases. And frankly, if you say you're military, we do free consultations for active duty military personnel. So Ali, you can email our office, let us know your spouse is military, and maybe send some evidence, and we'll schedule a time with my associate. But what we see in these kind of cases, not only isn't faster, they create more roadblocks in front of us. So it's always a fight, but it's doable. But it depends on the case, what you do, and all that kind of stuff. How long does it take the I-130 approved? It varies. Pineapple says, what if you're on a visitor visa and a person that is seeking asylum had an altercation by hitting you? I don't know. We have to check what's going on there. Ali Kabir says, hello, my naturalization certificate I got when I was under 18. How can I get it replaced? So you got to apply for one. I think it's N565 or something like that. You just got to apply for another one. Miss Suarez answered that. Nali says, my husband got denied because he cannot produce evidence of child support. What can we do? You're going to need that in some cases. They're going to be strict on that. Tasha says, got my green card October, getting married in February to U.S. Will be 3 or 4 years applying for citizenship. It'll be 5 years. It'll be 3 years from the time you got married. So, yeah, it'll be probably between 3 or 4 years, something like that. Okay, let's take one more question. We'll call it a day. Let's see, Instagram have any questions? Karu says, it's been 16 months for my I-130 petition. Why does it take so long? Just the immigration system is inconsistent. And that's why when people ask for timelines, sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's 2 years. It's all over the place. You never know. Melissa says, F600 form check cashed. No updates. I answered that one. Okay, so answer one more question, and we'll call it a day. I'm going to try to find a good one. My husband left me, but I still have the conditional green card. Can I file for removal this yourself? Gail asks, yes, you can. You file a waiver base. You need to show that that there was a bona fide marriage and you're just divorced. So you might have to look into getting divorced. We'll talk about that scheduled consultation, as well as other waivers. For example, if you go back to your home country, extreme persecution or something like that, or there was abuse in your relationship that was severe. It's all the stuff we got to get into. It's kind of deep stuff. Do you work on Section 212E? Does apply to J1 visa that condition move from U.S.? I think at 212E, you mean the 2-year home residency waiver requirement. We do. It depends on the case and the facts, but it's something we do. We do waiver requests and all that kind of stuff. But we got to look into it. So schedule a consultation. I guess that's it for today. Do you handle E2 cases? Pisces asks. Yes, we do. We have a very detailed E2 page on our website. If you email us, info@jqqlaw.com, Pisces. I can send you a link to that, read that, and schedule a consultation. We love doing E2 visas. It's very important. Visa. Deb says, my father is sponsoring my fiance from Turkey because I'm disabled. His income is over 90K. Is that okay? Probably should be as joint sponsor. We do handle a lot of cases from Turkey. We have one stuck over there right now because they're hassling us about the income of the sponsor, which is a military case. I was talking earlier about how badly they treat military cases. This is a military case, single father, minor kids, and the embassy in Turkey is just unfortunately not being helpful to get the help this guy needs or bring his family over to help him. But I can't tell if somebody initially not for sure, but 90K should be okay. But you got to do the paperwork right. A lot of people, when they do the case themselves, they file the I-64 after they support themselves. It's a really badly designed form, so it's confusing. And because you make errors on that, then it causes delays. So that's something we got to look into. But having said that, thank you everyone for coming in. We'll be back again next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, to answer your questions live on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram and I think it's TikTok. We'll say it again. Having said that, God bless. Be safe. And if you want to schedule a private consultation, email the office, info@jqqlaw.com. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless. Be safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.